Are you really ready? Now listen, I know it's been a while since I graced your presence, so let's get this out of the way. Merry Christmas, Happy New Year's. I know holidays have come and gone and you guys have yet to hear from me or see any type of vlog, but at times we have to simply sit back and let God work some things out in us so we can bring something worth reading to the table. I've had a few things happen in my life in the past few weeks. I don't want to share it all, but I do want to share what God has dealt with me on concerning my life. A few weeks ago, I began to receive some news of abnormal blood work. Being a gastric bypass patient, I was used to getting iron infusions due to my anemia. However, the doctors were finding that other facets of my blood work were becoming abnormal all of a sudden. They began to monitor me and I began to pray. I began to ask God what was going on and for some guidance and peace about the whole thing, as I never usually had any health issues growing up. God began to speak to me, but the answers I was getting were not the answers I was ready for, nor did I want to hear. You see, God began to prepare me for a battle. He began to show me that the news I would get back would not be what I wanted, but it would be what He was allowing, and that in the end I would survive and be okay. He began to show me that whatever was coming was His plan, and that it would be the beginning of a whole new chapter in me and my family's lives. I honestly wasn't trying to hear it. I was like, nope, I'm good, God. Catch me another time and I'll let you know. But I'm not up for anything else right now. I've been through enough this year. So I continued to move on with my life, expecting nothing but good news and everything to return normal. From that moment on, for about 2-3 weeks, God began to bombard me with random people, pretty much confirming His word to me about the battle I was about to enter and my victory in the end. I was mad. I was scared. I was frustrated. I wanted to know the details of it all, but simply had to wait on calls and doctors. 2 days before Christmas, I was sent to the hospital for a bone marrow biopsy. And by that Monday, I sat in the doctor's office with my doctor, my husband Derek, and my friend, who is my doctor's nurse, as we discussed the findings of the biopsy. My body went numb, and my world just came to a paralyzed halt when the doctor began to discuss chronic T-cell lymphocytic leukemia and how more tests were needed. She began to talk about specialists and treatments and how everything would be made clear in 2 weeks when the rest of the results came in. Needless to say, Derek and I left there shocked. After losing my grandmother to bone cancer in 2012, the last thing I would have ever wanted to hear from a doctor was that. We spent days trying to process it. We still are. I have my moments where I'm okay because I'm holding tight to God's promises and word. And quite honestly, I have my days where I don't know how to think. I don't know how to think right. And I'm fearful of all that is to come, of the unknown. I say all this as my foundation to what God spoke to my heart during worship on Sunday. We stood there before an entire church singing a song called Here I Am to Worship. And as I stood there in complete worship to God, He made the words of that song ever so new to my heart. There is a part of the song that says, I'll never know how much it costs to see my sins upon that cross. As we sang it over and over again, God began to convict my heart. He sent His only Son, His only innocent Son to this wretched world to die for a bunch of ungrateful people. He suffered, He was betrayed, He was beaten, ridiculed, and killed. Not just a quick shot to the head, but He had nails hammered into Him and was hung on a cross for us, for me. As an old song says, He never said a mumbling word. He took that pain for me. He knew the kind of messed up life and decisions I would make in my life. And Jesus did all that to save me and keep me from a life in hell, an eternity in hell. I stood there with tears in my eyes in complete submission and repentance. How dare I sit here and complain about an illness God has already told me I would survive when He has done so much for me. He's done nothing but reassure me personally and through so many people that this is His doing. And the last time I checked, The word says he works all things out for the good of those who love him and who are called according to his purpose. I found myself begging God for forgiveness and asking him to have his perfect will be done in my life and in the lives of my family members. Who am I to get in the way of God's plan? Who are we to get in the way of God what is God trying to do in us? Who are we to run and hide in rebellion because we're afraid of the unknown? I may not know what's going to happen. It may hurt. I may have days where I fight frustration and anger. I may have days where I feel like I'm 2 steps from death. But I can be sure of this. God is not a man that he would lie or renege on his promises. God is faithful. I am more than blessed to be used of God and whatever he has allowed to happen in my life. He can and will bring me through. So know this. Whatever God allows in your life, be grateful. We were made for such a time as this. Our calling is greater than anything we can go through in this life. Our prize exceeds anything that we go through here. Don't allow what things look like in the natural to detour your focus. Stay focused and connected to God. We are living in a time where you can't afford to go a day without touching God. He is our source, our peace, our strength. Is it always going to be easy? No. I'm pretty sure I'll have some rough days. But God is the great I am. He will not only get me and my family through all of this that is to come, but he will do it for you as well. My prayer today is that we truly submit our lives to God and his perfect will for our lives, whatever that entails. We may not feel fully ready for it all, but know this: if God allows it, it's because he's placed something inside of you that can get you through it. I will continue to keep everyone posted in the weeks to come. Until next time, be blessed.